sound tracking is one of my favorite SEAL strategies, and I used it every single day, just about every single moment of teaching when I was face to face with my students. Well, now I still want to use it because it's such a powerful SEAL strategy, and you can actually learn more about what sound tracking is and how to introduce it to your students in this video. So definitely go check that one out when we're done here. Now for my remote teaching, I'm using Google Classroom. And I wanted to do some sound tracking for the beginning of the day as students are coming into their morning meeting. And I also want to use sound tracking for their instructional time like I have been doing for years now. So I have figured out a couple of ways that I'm making this happen in a way that's not very technical and just making it work. So here's my old phone that I'm using, and I'm going to be using YouTube because that's what I could actually get access to when I was in my physical classroom, and it kind of has stuck, and it's just got some great playlists. And of course, you can use whatever streaming software you are comfortable with or you have access to. If you do use YouTube for it, if you look up uplifting songs or happy songs or motivational songs, you'll come up with some really good playlists. Now this one in particular is the one that I really like to use. It's by Jay Pell. And I usually only end up using the first 2 to 3 songs. And it really does put the songs in a great order. So if you're trying to do any mood matching or creating song trilogies, which I know my SEAL teachers will fully understand, then this is a great playlist to use. So then I just put the phone near the microphone, not too close. And then when I press play, of course, I want to reload it just in case I have to go through any advertisements, and I can skip through those, and then it will get right to the song. And then I adjust the volume from the phone controls themselves and just kind of make sure that the microphone is a good space away from it. I don't want it too close because that's going to interfere with the students who are online, and I also want the microphone to be able to pick up my voice as well over the music. So the music is really there to create an atmosphere and to kind of just fill that silent space as students are coming into the classroom or the Google Classroom. All right, so here I am in the waiting room of my Google Meet, and I'm actually going to go in when I don't have time scheduled with my students because I want to just test out the audio. Now, you don't have to test out the audio. What you could do instead is just start playing the music, let the kids know, but play the music and then have your students kind of have a little back and forth so that you can see what the volume is and how it's coming through to them. So it's important for you to have that little conversation with your students and kind of check things out that way. I'm going to go ahead and join my Google Meet now. All right, so here I am. I'm alone inside my Google Meet, and that is totally fine. That's what I want because I would like to do a sound check before my students come in. Now, it's okay for you not to do a sound check like I'm about to show you. You can just go in and start playing the music and talk to your students, talk through your process. That is okay, because remember, it's about getting the students involved with what sound tracking is and allowing them the opportunity to see how it's going to work for them. This is all about self-management utilizing this wonderful SEAL strategy. So tell them what you're doing, start playing the music, and then together you can adjust the sound, both from your end with the volumes that you can control, and of course they can control the volumes on their end as well. Now, the reason why I had this phone, this old device, to play the music is because I'm going to use my current phone to actually do the sound check. Now, for this to work, you must have Google Classroom or Zoom or whatever you're using on your phone as well. So I'm going to go ahead and go to Google Classroom on my phone. And now I am here in the waiting room. But before I join, I'm going to plug in my headphones. If I don't do that, then the sound is going to be crazy because I've got the microphone here, I've got the speakers here, I've got everything going on this phone too. So I want to make sure that I have a headset or some earbuds ready to use for my phone so that I can listen in and see how the music is sounding. All right. So I'm about to join. You'll see me pop up on the Google Meet. And there we are. So I can hear the echo of myself inside my headphones, but you can't hear it because I've got my headphones in. So I can hear what's going on inside the Google Meet, which is exactly what I want to happen. So I'm now going to play some music on my phone, on my old phone. Okay, and then I'm going to just move the volume on this until I can hear it through my headphones. And to be honest, I can't play too much of that song on this video itself because it's an actual song. But when I play it, I'm checking for the volume of the music. And so I can actually play this, walk away from my computer, listen to what it sounds like, and make sure that the volume is just right. And when it is, I know that I'm good and I can get going with my music for the morning meeting or choosing playlists and music for instructional time as well. So there are so many ways to use music in the classroom. And if you haven't yet, I really want you to check out the video right here about sound tracking your classroom and the 6 steps to making sound tracking work in your classroom. So here's a trick for inserting some music into your Google slideshow. Now in another video I showed how to create a Google slideshow to keep your remote learning activities and lessons organized and in order. And if you want to check that out, make sure you check this video right here. That's going to give you some good tips and tricks on that. All right, so let's insert some music. Now, normally you would think audio, but that's not the case unless you have some audio on your computer that you're going to actually insert. I'm going to keep going with the whole YouTube thing, and I'm going to actually find something from YouTube that I can use. So what happens is you get this search bar, and so I, for example, went ahead and searched for this song that is a great song for an opener for a morning meeting, and I select it with my mouse and then hit select here, and it will insert it right inside the slide. So this will be their welcome video that they can see when they're coming in. Now the great thing about inserting the audio, or in this case the video as well, inside the slide is because you can use an option in Google Meet to help you so that you will just hear this. So to show you how that's going to work, I'm going to go inside of a Google Meet. Now here's a little fun trick I want to show you, because splitting your screen is going to be so helpful when you're teaching and you want to be able to see your students and what you're actually presenting. So here's what you do. At least this is what works on a Mac. So you take a tab and you just kind of move it out so that it goes into its own window. There are ways to do this on your PC as well, I promise. And then you are going to go over to this little bubble here, the little circle that allows you to go full screen, and you're going to press down on your mouse and stay there for a second and see what it does. It gives you this option to put it on one side or the other. Then you release, and there it is. Now, I also want this side to be where I'm going to be showing, well, what I'm showing my students. I also want this side to be available to me so that I can actually see what I'm presenting to my students. So I'm going to be presenting this slideshow, right? So I want them to see this slide, and I want to be able to see all their faces over here in the Google Meet. So now I've got my split screen all set and ready to go. So now when I present, I'm going to go ahead and present. I need to choose a Chrome tab in order for this audio to work. I'm going to carefully choose the tab that has the slideshow, and I'm going to share it. Now over here, it's going to show that I am presenting and give me the option to stop. But also, I'm going to down here see all the pictures of the kids' faces. So I'm going to be able to see everybody here. Of course, there's no one in the Google Meet with me right now. So I'm going to be able to see everybody here. And I'm also going to be able to go through all my slides over here, or I can show them things in Google Classroom, or I can show them this form that I want them to fill out. That's all going to be available to me all at once. Now, the thing with choosing just one tab to present is that it gives you the option to hear the audio. So when I go over here and I want to play this song, what I do want to point out is that when you play it through this, it's going to make the sound a little bit more clean because I'm not putting the sound through the microphone and then into the Google Meet and then to the students. Instead, we're all going to be hearing it through the slideshow and through the computer system. So, of course, along with everything else, an important part of SEAL and using SEAL in your classroom is allowing the students to understand why you're doing the things that you're doing. So part of setting up sound tracking in your physical classroom or your remote classroom is involving the students and getting them on board with what you're actually doing. So with SEAL, you're explicitly teaching the SEAL strategies that you're using and why you're using them. And in the case of implementing it into this remote learning atmosphere, it's really important that they're also in on the technical side of making sure that their volumes are at a good spot on their computers and the volumes are okay from my end as well. Now, of course, all of this is dependent on your device that you're using, your kids' devices, the Wi-Fi or the access that they have. There are so many things that can go awry, and if there's one thing I have been learning in just the last couple of days of my own remote teaching, that is patience. Patience with yourself, patience with students, patience with your classmates, and patience with technology. But I do know that if there's a will, there's a way. And if you want to do some sound tracking in your classroom, there certainly is a way for you to make that work. So if you have other ideas of how to make sound tracking work inside your remote classroom, I would love to hear what you have to say, what you have to offer, and what ideas you might have, so that we can really make this a successful year and still use some of these amazing SEAL strategies that really do help students with their social emotional learning and all the benefits that go with it. My name's Elizabeth Peterson. I can't wait to hear some of the ideas that you would love to share with us right here in the comments. And remember, to check out the sound tracking video that shows you the 6 steps to sound tracking your classroom, one of the many wonderful SEAL strategies that you can use inside your classroom, whether it's physical or remote. And if you want to learn so much more about how to integrate the arts with social emotional learning, even online, I want to encourage you to join me in my free workshop where you can get instant access to the workshop and learn some great SEAL strategies that you can use even online. All right, my name's Elizabeth. Have a fantastic rest of your day and take care of yourself.